Hi, this is Moxley, and I'm creating this quick video for you on how to create an event and publish events. So within GroupFlow, there are really two different main ways of creating an event. One way is for the event organizer or an author of an event, somebody who wants to create an event. They can create a draft of an event. They can't necessarily publish the event, but they can create the draft. And then the other way to create an event is just within the GroupFlow group admin. So I'm going to cover the event organizer or author creating an event, and that's really easy. So as I'm logged in right here as a member, this is the events page, right? And we've got the calendar view as well. So this is the events list. And within the events list, there's this button right here, this add event button. So I'm going to go ahead and press that. So any regular member has access to press this button to edit an event. And then they end up on this page right here for creating the event. And it starts with a title. And I'm only using one hand, so I'm going to be typing really slow. Migrate event. Great. And then the next thing it asks you is the event image. We click on this button here, and then you have a couple options. You can search for previous event images, and you can just search for previous events by their title. And let's see if I can remember one like orientation. Yeah, there we go. There's the image for orientation. So then it just drops it right in there. Or you can upload an image with this upload photo button. And I'll just pick one. This one. Great. And then the next thing is the description. So give it a nice description. You have some basic formatting options available to you. I would encourage you to use the headings. Heading 1 is probably too big for the event description, but headings 2 and 3 and maybe 4 are really nice to use to break up the description and make it easier to read. And then you've got other formatting options here as well. What else? The venue. If you have venues in the system already, you can just drop in this search box right here, and then you can search by the venue name. And if you need to add a new venue, there's this handy little button, add new venue, and then you can put in the venue details right here. And then that'll be saved to the venues list, which you can access in admin if you have access to the admin area. And then directions to venue. This is just one extra little field that you can customize for each event, and it allows the attendee to learn more about how to access the venue. If there's some special instructions that the venue address itself, or if that's not enough for the attendee, maybe they're entering a large apartment building, and they need the door number or instructions on how to enter the building. That's what the directions to venue are for. And then also, if this is going to be a virtual meeting or a virtual gathering, you can put a link to a video call, like for Zoom, for instance. And then you've got date and time of the event, the start time of the event, and then the end time. You can specify right here. This events on the same day will tell you any other events that are happening on the same day that are in the system. And these can be draft events. They don't have to be published events. And so any draft or published events that happen on the same day will show up in this list. So that helps with scheduling and making sure that events don't happen on the same day, or if they do, they don't conflict with each other. And then next, we come across the team section. And then by default, the person who created the event is on the hosts list, but they don't have to be a host. So you can, for instance, I'm GroupFlow support. I'm logged in as GroupFlow support right now. I could remove myself and then add new hosts. And you can have as many hosts as you want. And then number of volunteers needed. This is a special little indicator on the event page for attendees. Let's say you're looking for volunteers for your event and you don't have enough volunteers. You can say, hey, I'm looking for 3 additional volunteers. And then that'll be indicated on the event page so people can see it and they can contact the host to say, hey, I want to be a volunteer. And then if you know your volunteers already, you can look them up by their name and just add them as volunteers. Next is categories. Yeah, so you can make events public. And then, of course, you check this checkbox right here to make that available to the general public. And then we have tags. So the way GroupFlow assigns tags is first of all, tags are always part of a tag category or a group. So that's what you see right here, configure tag groups. The only group that is configured in this particular demo group is called level. And that's just borrowed from another group that used the platform where they had a leveling system. But first of all, when you want to use tags, first you create your tag group. So you're going to be adding multiple tags to a group. So you decide what that group is going to be called, and then you add your tags to the group. And you can use this little editor right here to create your group. So this level group is already created, and then you can add more groups. And then once you have your group set up, then you can add tags to a group. Okay. And then pricing. So pricing, there's always going to be a default display price. That makes it easy for attendees. Even if you have multiple prices, like multiple tiers or options, it's handy to have a single price that people can see, and that's your base price. So that's what this default or display price is. And then you can have tiered pricing if you want or not. Just uncheck that. But if you do have tiered pricing or pricing options, you can set those up right here. Now, these tiers are actually part of a template. In this particular setup, we have 3 tiers set up within the template. You can access the template tiers within the admin area in the events settings. Okay. So then you can set up tiers with their own price. And then for some events, you might not want to actually take in money. Some events might charge money, but it's actually a different organization that's running the event. So really, you're just creating an event within GroupFlow to let your members know about this external event that this other organization is putting on. And then you can tell the attendees what the price is going to be when they register on this external website. So this external ticket link, when you do put in a link, when you check this checkbox, it's not going to actually take money from the attendee, but the attendee can still register on your group website so that other members know who's showing up at the event, or at least they know within your group who's showing up. But then the attendees actually pay on the external website, and you can put the link to that external payment page on the external website. Next is questions. You can ask any number of questions to the attendee when they register. And I'll show you that a little bit. What is your guest? And again, I'm typing with one hand. What is your guest's name? Let's say guests are allowed. You allow the attendee to bring a guest, but this allows you to actually ask what the name is of the guest. You can have them answer in a text field or a large multi-line text field, or just a single checkbox. Single checkbox is great for agreements when you want the attendee to agree to something before they register. You can make that a required field that they have to check it or else they can't register. And then you have several other types of fields. Okay, and then you can add as many questions as you like. Policies, you can set the maximum number of attendees that can register, and then any number after that maximum would go onto a wait list. There's actually, I think there's a way in the admin area to not have people go onto the wait list when the maximum is reached. Most groups don't use that, but yeah, ask me if you need to use that. It's not very common. And then here you can tell the attendee, hey, yeah, you can bring a guest. And then if it's a paid event, then they can, it'll charge for that guest. So if they bring one guest, that's 2 people. So it's the price times 2. And then optional note to calendar team. So really, like I mentioned earlier, this page is set up for event organizers or event authors to draft the event, but it's not for them to publish the event. That's up for the calendar team or the event administrators to publish. So this box right here gives the event author the opportunity to send a message, maybe some special instructions to the calendar team or the event admin so that when they go publish the event, they're up to date on what needs to happen. And then this checkbox right here goes ahead and lets the calendar team know that they have a new draft ready for publication. So they save that. Am I going to go ahead and save this? I'm just going to put a little test description or just say yes. Migrate event. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and save this. Oh, and I need to fix this. 0 guests. No, I'll just say 1 guest for this test and then save. Great. So it is saved as a draft. Now, as the author, I'll see that draft in my events under drafts. Of course, I've got a bunch of drafts, test drafts already, but it is in here somewhere. There it is. And then I can go ahead and edit it if I want. Actually, this edit button is not the right one. So as an event organizer, I go to my event page, my draft event page. I go to organizer tools, and then I go to edit event. And then I'm back on the edit page again. Okay, great. So that's from the event organizer's perspective. From an event admin or a calendar team member, you would go to admin from your user menu, and then you go to the events. And then here's that draft right there, shown in upcoming events. The upcoming events section will show drafts and publish events together in the same list. If you just want to see drafts, you can see that as well. This will show drafts both in the past or in the future. Let's say you created a draft, but you've never published it. They'll all show up right here. Okay. So then as an event admin, I can look at this event, and then we have another edit screen that looks a little bit different. The information is organized a little bit different, but it's basically the same information. So you've got our title, description, dates and times, the status, whether it's draft or published, the photo. So very similar, but again, things are just arranged differently. Team. If you are a calendar team representative, you can assign yourself to the event. Well, right now there are no calendar team members set up on this particular sample site. Pricing. All the same fields are there. The questions, policies. There are a few more options here if you're an admin. one of the options is being able to charge attendees immediately. By default, when an event is set up, it does not charge attendees when they register. It takes their payment information and then it charges them around the time that the event starts. And you can change that on a per event basis. You can say, no, I want to charge them right away. And I think, some groups prefer to do that. Okay. The notes. This is where you get to see the note from the event author. You can also send notes to other members of the calendar team or events team. And categories. This has the tags that we talked about earlier. Okay. And then when we're ready to publish the event, there's this green publish button right here. And then you can publish it. Oh, that's right. You need a venue first. So that's what this indicator is for. I'm just going to go ahead and choose a venue. Save. And then I can publish it now. So then when you publish an event, you have the option to announce it, which means send an email out to all your members and a push notification to the members who have the GroupFlow mobile app or not. And usually you do want to announce it, but sometimes there might be a special circumstances where you don't want to announce it and you go publish it. So I'm not going to publish it now. You also have the option to send a test announcement to yourself. So this will send an announcement to your email address that you have as a member, so you can see what it looks like. So that's it in a nutshell. I'll be showing more of this, and I'm happy to answer any questions you have as they come up. All right, thanks.